Hello, Mia. So last video somebody pointed out that I didn't mention what my qualifications are. So I am a peak top 500 support, that is ending top 500 one of the seasons. I don't actually have a screenshot of the exact end of the season because I think they kicked me off right at the end. So maybe you count that, maybe you don't. Overwatch doesn't, but I do. Right now I'm hanging on to Masters 4 and having a miserable time. I've been playing since before competitive was released, and I have a speciality in Mercy with over 3,000 hours on the character. My plan is only to look at people who are less highly ranked than me, and if I ever look at someone who is close to or above my rank, I will make very clear that they are, at the very least, better at winning games than I am. So maybe don't listen to anything I have to say. Hello everyone, please excuse the stomping that is occurring upstairs. They are doing some sort of maintenance on the apartment above me and it is irritatingly loud. So I'm back here with another VOD review. This time we're going to be looking at Kiyomi. My apologies if I totally mispronounced your name. They're on Mercy here, so we're going to start obviously with a Mercy fit check. So we have a pretty basic loadout here, nothing particularly interesting going on. This is not a common skin, but I do quite like it. I was very glad that the gladiators won so that the skin could be purple. That's the only reason. I don't love the chain with the purple. I don't think it's super goes, but you're obviously welcome to your own taste. The golden gun works well with this. I feel like this gun, it works well for the skin, but it's so big. It covers too much of my screen. It bothers me. All right. Anyway, fit check complete. We're giving it pretty good. So we're going to start out here by looking at our team comp again, trying to see what we can do to better help this team, how we can try and keep them out of trouble. So first of all, this is a sniper map, so we're going to need to play with the expectation that they're going to have a Widow, Ashe, or Hanzo, if not at least two of those. It is a very very sniper heavy. You do have solid support for your Ryan. Ana does a lot of good healing on Ryan, does a lot of good support for him as well. The Mercy works pretty well with the Kree, pretty well with the Junkrat, so I'm not opposed to this in terms of team cohesion. The Kree, Junkrat, Ryan on this map, on this point, are going to be not the best picks because you have these such long sight lines and because it's very strong for Widow, Hanzo, Ashe. So it's going to be difficult for your Junkrat to be able to get in a position where he can finish kills. He's going to do a lot of spam damage up here probably, but it's going to be difficult for him to finish kills, and the Kree is liable to get shot in the head if he doesn't play close with his Ryan. So that's the situation that we're starting with. Gonna try and figure out which of our DPS is doing more, see what we can do to help them. Alright, so the game's just started. There's a Widow. You know there's a Widow. You do peek this. They're all the way back here. Alright, so they're not actually going to be able to see you, but I would be careful falling off that ledge there and floating when you know they have a Widow. They're too far in their spawn still, so it's totally safe. You're safe. I was wrong. I thought that you might not be safe. But I checked, and you're fine. Fine doing that. I'd be more looking for you to be gliding around here, like this, instead of like straight down. Gives you more chances of LOSing people with this pillar. If you're fly down just straight down, you're going to have more, they're going to more be able to see you down through here.
Thanks, Doc.
You drop to damage boost the Kree, and you fly down to the Kree. I would say just drop, don't fly to him, just so that you have that cooldown up if you need it. You definitely don't. It's not a big misplay or anything, but to be taking care of your cooldowns. We're just damage boosting Kree here. You cross this door a lot. Nobody's there. Maybe you know that. But if you don't 100% know that nobody's in this door, you're putting yourself... See, right now, I don't think you know where their tank is. Say they have a hog, or even the Doom that they do have, hits you from the side here. Maybe Doomfist slams you into the car on your left, and you're in trouble. So, I would say either just play up here by this chair and don't move around as much, or just play back on the other side of the door. Now, your Ryan's going in a little bit here, so I'd say play up here by the chair. In this area, like a little bit farther forward than where you are so that you don't get hit in the back. But we now know where the Doom is. Try and be looking where the enemy is a little bit more there. Seems like your sensitivity might be a little bit low. I wouldn't have done that. That, like, this here. Where you turn around. You don't need to turn around in order to be able to glide backwards there. You just need to hit your spacebar. And you'll just kind of go towards the person, and then if you spacebar while you're still going towards them, you'll fly backwards in the same direction that you came from. Then you don't need to turn and look. But if you do decide to turn and look in the other direction so you have more control over it, you gotta be faster. So I would say you're probably a little low on your sensitivity. You're having to heal your Rhine here to keep him up. That shouldn't be your job, but you're noticing that it's not what your Anna's doing. So I think it's a good choice at that point, but it's irritating. It's irritating. You shouldn't have to be doing that. Okay. Took a second there. Your Rhine kills himself. Alright. Your Rhine's just dead at that point. You try and help him out, but he lost all of his shield because he charged into the enemy team. Yeah. This is all fine. Try and keep yourself alive. Try and LOS people. Get out. Your movement doesn't feel super clean. It's getting the job done. You're getting mostly where you need to be at not too slow of a rate, but it doesn't feel high rank. You break the Venom Mine. I'm okay with that. It only takes one shot though, for future reference. You just stand still here. After you shoot the Venom Mine, you can stand still while you're shooting the Venom Mine. I think this is, generally speaking, okay. But when you walk forward there, you walk forward in a super predictable way. You just straight up walk forward. Instead of like doing a little dance as you walk forward or guardian angeling forward. Makes it more likely for Widow to hit you there. You heal up Junk. Fair. You heal up Anna. Fair. Anna's trying to kill a Widow. Good to ignore that. I like the damage boost here. You thought about rezzing that. You thought about it. And you decided not to. And that was good to decide not to. I like the ping. I like the res around the corner. Very good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, your team isn't particularly good at the game. We lose our Junkrat here, and I want to try and see if there's anything we can do to help that not happen. Yeah, we almost got hit in the head by the Widow there because we didn't do that fly across there. It's hard to know because you're not looking. I want you to be looking a little bit more at your team. Yeah. I want to say maybe you could have helped your Junkrat, but I think he was probably done for. A goner. This is good Valk. You were even until the Mercy rezzed. This is too slow. You have the right play. You know what you want to do, but you do it too slowly. You can... You know the Doom's there. Good ears. Good ears. You Valk this. You try and go forward. Notice there's a Widow and don't. Excellent. As soon as he dies, glide forward to this. Swoop around the corner and res. All like that. It should be... You should be starting res like by here. But it takes you another couple seconds. You got the right idea. Just got to be a little bit faster on the execution. Wrong. Don't hang out here. This point is gone. It is so gone. You're down both your DPS and your Reinhardt is at no HP. Even if this Reinhardt is able to get LOS on you, he does not live. He doesn't live. They have a Bastion to shred his shield. He can't just walk backwards out of there holding his shield. He can't charge away or he's going to take too much damage. This man is dead. You, at this point, just turn around and run. Turn around, try and get LOS on maybe your Junkrat coming back from spawn. He was the one who died first. And if not, you could still just keep walking. The other worse option is just to go in. Just go in and die on the point. But you're going to stagger yourself because your teammates do have close spawn. So the preferred option here, just turn and run. Which you do. But you waited too long. You did not get pushed by the enemy team. It worked out fine. But I would want to see you doing that earlier, just in case they decide to push you. This positioning is okay. I don't love it. I think here is better. But if you're here, let's pull out the... Oh my goodness. Alright, let's pull out the free move camera. If you're here, where you were for a little bit, I liked this positioning. You need to be looking this way, and if you're LOSing them this way, you need to be looking this way. You can have your beam over here, but a lot of the time you want to be looking this way, because as soon as you see somebody, you need to get out of there. Don't want you to get sniped by a Widow. We come down here. I like this positioning for what the enemy team has. They got... Most of their people are pretty far back. The only person who's liable to come for you here is a Doomfist, and if he does that, you're going to hear him coming because he's going to have to use more than one ability to get to you. Good positioning. Careful doing that jump. You went a little high. I think you probably peaked the Widow doing that. You lost your Ana. You're trying to see if the Rhine is going to let you res that. You go for it even though the Widow has LOS. It's ballsy, but the lower the rank, the more likely you are to get away with that. Not necessarily a bad play. I like that movement. You almost disconnect your res too, but... Yeah, okay. Yeah. Here's good, but you need to look where you are. Alright, your Ana's fighting a Widow. Your Ana's dumb and dies for it. Alright, from here, your Ana did a stupid. You can ping the corpse, and it will say, I can resurrect them. Cover me, I can resurrect them. Or a couple other voice lines. Then your Rhine might know to just hang out there with his shield up. It's a little bit safer. He might just totally ignore you, high likelihood, but it's something you can do that doesn't take like any abilities or anything, and it might get you a better situation. You go for this res. Mid-res, you see that your Ana's dying. You go and or your Junk, sorry. Your Ana's the other person. And you go heal them. I like that. Your team is split as shit. Your Kree LOSs you. This is okay. We're keeping an eye on the enemy team. Could definitely be cleaner on the Glock aim. But not bad, and not necessarily a bad opportunity to use it. We res our dumb Ana again. Stop standing in the Widow's LOS, Ana. Your Ryan's playing lower, Kree's playing upper. Your Ana's LOSing you. I like that you turned away for a second and then looked back. Keep doing stuff like that. Where you're looking around. Alright, check on your Ana. How's she doing? Your Kree's dead. How's your Ana doing though? Oh, they're full HP. That's good to know. Oh, again, ballsy res. It works. Glock the Glocker. Okay, maybe a little bit further back. Maybe you want to be a little bit further back there. Keep him in your... If you get too close, you have to move your mouse so far to aim each shot differently that it can be difficult to get kills on this. Especially because I feel like your sense is wrong. There we go. We get her, though. Absolutely destroyed that person. You're going to want to watch for the res on that. This is too aggressive. Respectfully and with love, that's too aggressive. I know you're feeling pumped because you did just murder that person, and that Mercy is being an idiot. But you dropped down, and there's a damage boosted bastion here. The hammer people upstairs are mad about it. There's a damage boosted bastion here. This man turns around, sits down, and you're obliterated in 0.2 seconds. All right, don't be down here. This is bad. This is bad. Get out of there. That person's dead, but you can't res them. You realize that this Mercy fucking wants some. I'm not opposed to that. I feel like that's okay. Do be careful with the Doom though. There's a level of cockiness here that I'm not sure your aim is quite good enough to substantiate. But everyone was low enough that it didn't matter. It's just something, I like a certain level of awareness. You realized you didn't have res and I didn't realize it, so I'm dumb. Damage boosting the Ashe here, excellent choice. Because with damage boost, Ashe can kill the Widow in one shot, and without it, she cannot. I like that you're looking at where your Kree is. You do lose your Ashe for a second there. I would try not to do that. Visually, I mean, you visually lose them. Now you literally lost them. But that was their weird positioning. Oh god, that was not great. Let's watch that back. We have this situation where we orphan ourselves for a second. This is good. Now, here's another thing where I was like, look where stuff is. You know there's a Bastion over here. He just killed your Ashe. You know there's a Widow over here somewhere to the right because they're shooting your Kree. So, you know that when you stand here, you're going to be getting shot out from both this window and this window, right? So you're going to want to be pretty much right where your Ana is in order to not get shot, or if you end up needing to, backing all the way off and being over here. But you come in here. This is okay, good fly. We get bonked by the Bastion thing, not your positioning. You should know this person is here and not have peeked this far. And then your movement here is like your camera movement is just a little bit slow. I think your sensitivity is just wrong. It feels like maybe we were doing something else at the same time. I want to see you kind of looking around constantly. Even when you're in spawn, you like hold your vision in one place for kind of a while.
It looks like she's playing without a mouse pad.
My roommate says it looks like you're playing without a mouse pad. I have a different guess.
What's that?
I think this might be console. I don't feel like I'm the best at being able to determine that because I've only ever played against PC players. I did play on a controller for a while, so. Mercy, the most playable on controller, character. Absolutely can do it, even into high ranks. On PC. That person, I would say you try and help him a little bit longer than you need to. At a certain point, the like self regen that everybody has now is just gonna heal him up, and you're not gonna need to help him at all. Yeah, I think as soon as he gets over here, as soon as you get over here, I'd like to see you just go, like, peek at him, see he's half, and then it's gonna take a long time for a Kree to walk from here around, and it's also gonna take a long time for you to try and get LOS on him. You have to either fly this way or through here. It's gonna take a while. I would say by that point you would want to just moved on from the Kree. Keep an eye on him, keep turning around to look at him. You do eventually decide that he is not worth it. Correct pick. But it takes you a little while. And during that time, your Reinhardt, instead of theoretically killing himself by just doing something stupid, he literally killed himself. He fell off the map. So, your Rein's dead. Just run away. Yeah. Help your Ana get out if you can. I like the Oh, that took us a second. One of the strongest things about Mercy is that you don't have to aim too much to be able to get value. One of the strongest things, especially in lower ranks. That and her movement. So you can be looking everywhere and healing at the same time. It takes us too much time to get locked onto that Kree. It doesn't, like, watching it at that speed, it doesn't feel like all that much time, but a little bit of difference like that could be the difference between your Kree living and dying. Your team is staggering! Yay, but we're not staggering, so points to us for that one. The Bastion's there, you know. No, don't! The Bastion didn't even get you, the Widow got you. This is, there's 3 reasons you know you can't get away with that. Or you can use to know that you won't get away with that. The Bastion's sitting down. The Bastion's standing up, maybe you can get away with it. The Bastion's sitting down. Not great. We don't know that the Widow's here, obviously. So we're gonna ignore Widow as a potential threat. The Widow's somewhere over there, so anytime that you go past these big doors, you're gonna expect to be in Widow's LOS, but you don't get that far out. So there's less, you're not 100% going to be in her LOS, but you might be in her LOS. Bastion sitting down, you might be in Widow's LOS, and then you hear this. They Curie ulted. That's just extra fast Bastion. We do see the Widow here for a second, so we know she's staring right at us. There's a super fast Bastion who's sitting down, and you're going to be in line of sight of anyone else who peeks that. Do not go for this one. This is going to be just a rush for the point situation. Everybody's just going to want to get on the point and live as long as they can. You are not in a good situation. We have a little bit of issues getting out of spawn. You go for that, but then don't. I'm intrigued by that. Oh no, not that one. We go for this, and I guess it runs out. You can spam it as you get to it, and that'll remove that potential of happening. But yeah, that's what happened. Don't go for this. I mentioned that a little bit before, but don't go for this, because once again we have everyone in the world shooting at you. And you can tell before you go for it that it's not going to be a good idea, not just by like looking at the fact that everyone is over here and looking, and definitely would be able to see this, but in that right before we start the res, we take a widow shot. Right there, we got hit by a widow. If you're already half health, don't hit it. It's a pretty small range in between when you got hit and when you started the res, so it might be hard to have that reaction time in order to respond that quickly, but that's another hint that you shouldn't have gone for that one. Your Ryan is living miraculously long. He dies horribly. And then they cap. Alright. They capped with 3 points, but they only have 30 seconds. I honestly thought it would be way more than that, so you guys did better than I thought you were doing. Your Anna's a little silly. Likes to peek widow and die. Your DPS are not on the same page about like where they should position, so they're very far apart from each other, which can be decent, but not a super great pick with the Reinhardt. Reinhardt, very suicidal. Please, someone check in on this man. Because he does not want to live most of the time. Until this last fight, and then he was like, oh, I'm supposed to be trying to live. So you definitely have some teammate problems that are difficult to solve. Like, unless you go, like, maybe Lucio or Kiriko and just follow your Ryan around, might be able to keep him up. The Ana peeking the Widow, Mercy's a solid pick for, because you can negate that choice of hers by making her alive again. But your team not standing behind your Ryan, nothing you can do about that. So we got some problems that without like both calming to your teammates and then having them listen to you, aren't going to be things that you're necessarily going to be able to solve. Which is always unfortunate, and it can be a frustrating situation. But we definitely have things we could have improved on as well. Goodness. Do we get to do a second fit check? Hold on. Oh my god, we do. Secondary fit check. Got 2 in 1. The red wing looks way better on this. I like it a lot more. It works with it. It doesn't like match, but it is just kind of a highlight of color, a little pop of color, and I like it. And this Mercy skin's obviously very pretty. Love the half off the shoulder dress sleeves. Love her fancy little shoes. And the rhinestones on her wings. Excellent. Good choice. We have a Sombra instead of Kree or Ash. We kept the Ana and we kept the Rhine. Rhine, still not a great pick here. They went Kree again. Or Cass, my bad. You know, whatever. Your Ana does that thing that she likes to do. One could argue that it's not worth it to res Ana because you are right next to spawn, but I do like to try and keep the consistent pressure on the enemy team rather than resetting in a lot of situations. So this one, honestly, up to you. We have some weird mouse movement, cursor movement. I'm very suspicious that this is on console. Your Ryan is dying on the point. You're healing your Kree up. Switch to damage boost him. Yep. He dies immediately. Nothing you can do. Res is on cooldown. I would have liked to see you go in with the Ryan here. You're already down 1. So you have less of an incentive to just live. And your Ryan might be able to do something, or he might immediately need help. And either way, I think it's worth it to beat the Widow. I know that the Widow's still there, but your Ryan does charge into the Bastion, so the Bastion's probably not going to be shooting you if you go in with him. And he also manages to actually get the guy. He gets him. I'd like to see you go in there. And then probably get shot by the Widow, but your Ryan's doing stuff in there. And, you're a little too scared of the Widow, I think. I think you watched your Ana die to the Widow one too many times, and you're like, this Widow must be insane. But this is the wrong conclusion, because your Ana's just silly. Because they keep standing out in the open and aiming down sights, which is how you die to a Widow as Ana. We go over here. I like that. Trying to be closer to the Ryan. He dies. This is tragic. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny little mistake that kills you. Turn your cursor a little bit more to the right, and you don't run into that post, and you don't die to the Bastion. Not that big of a deal. Your team has to reset here anyway. Just gives you a little bit more ult charge. But yeah, really small thing that kills you. That's why I'm pointing out a lot of really small things, is because Mercy is all about the movement, all about the positioning, all about the flow. You get in just the wrong position for just a couple seconds, and you can just get destroyed by something that you don't see coming. I like the damage boosting the Bastion. You do this fly up to avoid the Bastion ult, that's good. That way the splash damage from the ground won't hit you if he happens to be ulting you. You will only be able to get hit by a direct. Good play. You could definitely have been damage boosting the Bastion a little bit more back here. You try and keep him like here. He's behind Ryan Shield. He's behind Ryan Shield. Your Ana's still alive and has LOS. I would say at this point, just damage boost him. If you notice that his health isn't going up at all and your Ryan gets out of the way, then switch back to healing him. But your Bastion could really do some work here with some more damage boost. He does not need this healing. But once this Ryan is like swinging on stuff, it makes more sense to be more healy. Obviously at this point he's way too low, definitely just heal him. And he's not sitting down anymore. Switch back to damage boost. Yep, we did it. Perfect. Our Ryan is doing that thing where he likes to kill himself. Your Bastion died horribly. Your team is all alive now. I'm thinking maybe we're typing. But by that point we should have been going back out if we were not typing something important. It doesn't keep the chat log, so I have no idea what they say here. It could be, Ryan, please stop killing yourself. I think that's probably the most likely. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. That was a lot of misplays all at once. Sorry. I sounded really sad about it. Okay. Let's walk through what to do differently here. We LOS the Ryan for a second. We turn away once we Valk. I am okay with this Valking here. I like that you waited until you had a touch on the Ryan. You are winning the fight right before you Valk, so one might argue that it's not worth it to Valk because you're winning the team fight. But like I always say, Valk, not that strong. It's not going to be a team winning ult 95% of the time. So if you ult here just to ensure that you can be in a safe place while you heal your Ryan, that's worth it. But we do this thing where we Valk and move away. Valk so that you can keep yourself alive. It doesn't do any more healing. It just changes how far you can be from a target to both use Guardian Angel and Beam. as well as doing the locking onto multiple targets. So use it to if you're just trying to save one person, use it to be able to position in a place that you wouldn't already have been able to position. So I'm thinking maybe instead of going over here, you go this way and up in the air behind this post. That way you can see your Rhine if he both goes this way or this way, and your beam will stay locked on. I'll just cut this part out. So that, he actually doesn't break LOS, he just dies. So what I said is still like valid. It's not wrong, but it doesn't change the impact of this Rhine's death. Alright, we Valk and our Rhine dies. Unfortunate. We turn around once he dies to figure out what happened. That's fine. I'm gonna probably want to see us bounce off of this using a pretty canceling the direction pretty quickly, so hitting spacebar only when you're about like here, and then getting out this way. Get back to your teammates, get some more perspective. But what you do is, you know there's a Kiriko here, and you go to Glocker. That's not terrible. Trying to get her out of that position so that she doesn't hold that position over your teammates. Definitely we could have better aim control on that. We go for the res here and it works because this is insane. There's a Kiriko ult. The Bastion's alive and right to your left, right? He's right here! He's right here! There's a Kiriko standing on top of your head. And the Doom has left. This is insane. This is an insane choice, but it's more insane that it works. We just do that. I like that we changed where we were looking so we could see all of these people that should have been killing us. You don't even take any damage until after you've rezzed. I think, like, that's a fine res to go for. I mean, clearly it worked. Could have been a little bit faster about choosing to Glock them. Seeing this and deciding to go for this res, the absolute gall. I love it. It works out. You know that this Kiriko isn't going to be able to kill you, and the Bastion just doesn't look at you. Yeah, this is knowledge of your rank, and that's important. I'm gonna do an official guess later, but I'm gonna guess not super high. And you know that. You know those people aren't gonna hit you. So you get out of it. You get away with it. Damage boost, continuing damage boosting and healing Rhine while you're looking for where that Doom lands is good. We take the high ground. I like that. Gets us out of range of the other person. We dropped to heal Ana. I think that's okay. Using both the payload and your Rhine shield for cover. Big brain. You know that Rhine might just drop his shield randomly. He might decide to pin across the map. This is a little bit worrisome because their team's starting to come back. There's a Doom just punched in. That's pretty scary. You don't really want to be in this position against these people. The Widow is scary. But they are getting pushed by your Sombra for a bit there, and I would like you to use that distraction to move from here to here. That way you can get away from the Doomfist. And you have this secondary angle that you can use instead if the enemy team rotates. We play this underneath the payload strategy. We do a little jump there that is risky because the Widow is bad. Anytime you jump, Widows can predict the pathway of your jump easier than they can predict you walking on the ground. So it's something to keep in mind. We go over here to hide from the Bastion and the Widow. That works. I'm okay with that. It's all fine. I think you should heal your Sombra. It was not critical, but I would have liked to see you heal the Sombra there. You don't go for the healing on the Ana because she's out of your LOS and there's a Doom down there. And I like that. Just let him die and then res them. Oh my god. Oh, yeah. Okay. I was like, this is not a great position because the Widow might kill you. And the Widow did kill you. Alright. So it's pinged where the Widow is. So you theoretically know where they are. You can still be on the payload if you are over here. You can just be here. You can also be here. Oh, I'm in a wall. You could be here. Construction continues. You can be here. You can be here. And still be pushing the payload. Your Ana is also on the payload, so you don't even need to be on there. I would say here is better because you're with your Rhine, who is probably thinking about different ways in which he can charge across the map right now. Now the police are coming for me! But we do the thing where we try and hide under the payload, and it's not, you can't quite go completely underneath it, unfortunately. For you in that, oh my god. Oh, watch that again. I want. He's got no HP. He's like, don't worry guys, I got this. I'm gonna shoot a sticky ball at them, and that's gonna kill him. And you know what? He was 100% correct. That was insane! Shout out to Kawaii Troll, the best Bastion I've ever seen. Alright. That was wild. Alright, we're still busy being dead, unfortunately. They res, we try and hack it out of that, but we're not fast enough. Rip in pieces. Your Bastion's here. He's probably missing some HP because he did. You can just heal this up here. Didn't end up being important. The game self-heal got him. You don't fly for half a second here. Half a second longer than is most wise given they have a Widow. So you know there's a Widow there because you just shot your Bastion. You just stand still for half a second before you shift to him. Not a big thing, but against better Widows it's going to be more important. Okay, you know there's a Widow up there and you want her. I see the bloodlust in your eyes when you turn and look over there. And I'm not opposed to it. Have bloodlust for Widows until, like, probably about Masters. Then you can stop looking at Widows because they're scary and you never want to look at them in the eye. You damage boost the Bastion, just stand on top of him so the Widow can't see you. Totally fine. You get a kill from it too. Good. Alright. You could actually just block her from here. It's not as good as being right next to them, but they are half HP. You rotate onto this here and shoot up at them. I think probably get the kill. But you choose to heal people instead, also okay. This was bad though. Then you realize that that spot before that I said where you could shoot her from, that you could shoot her from there, but you bang your little head on here, but you've already taken your clock out. So you're wasting some time here with the poor bashed head, trying to Glock a Widow that you can't see anymore. But we switched back, we realized it wasn't going to work out, and that's good. the Bastions have a staring contest, and the enemy Bastion loses. We rezzed before we Valked. Perfect. Generally want to Valk before you res unless you need the Valk to keep yourself alive during a res. You know some stuff's going on? You're like, where's that Widow at though? You're coming for her. You didn't go for the Widow. I'm gonna have to assume someone on your team killed her because we Valk before we res. Always the right decision unless you need the Valk to keep you alive during a res. We just kind of go over and hang out over there. What are we doing here? Where are we going? You looking for the Widow? I think that's what I think you're looking for the Widow. I think you can commit a little bit less to looking for the Widow. If you don't know where she is already, just fly up, glance around, and then come back. You spend a little bit more time than is best for a scouting mission there. This is okay, but make sure you're checking in on the people over there. You don't have this Ana in your LOS for a little bit, and during that time they take some damage. And if you had known that, you probably could have gotten in there and helped them, and then had res up. Yeah, we look away while the Ana's getting all in by this Doom. Keep LOS on the people through the walls. You can mostly tell what's happening even without knowing where the enemy team is. You ping it so you know if you can res it or not. Game says yes you can. You hide around LOS from the enemy team. All good. While you're here, be mindful. Be mindful of the Widow might have moved to this window. And in fact, they did move to this window. So be mindful that they will be able to see you if you back up much more. But we'll see if it ends up being important. It doesn't. You find where the Widow is. You peek for where the Widow could have seen you for a second there. And you choose violence again. I don't like this violence. Alright. I'm gonna pick an exact moment where the violence was no longer called for. The Mercy's by herself. You see that? You're like, ha! I got her. It's no longer worth it. You couldn't get to her, and she's, by this point, around the next corner, which means she has Guardian Angel out. As soon as Mercy has LOS back on her team, she is no longer killable. You could still do some damage to her, but she's not going to die because she's going to just literally be behind her teammates, and even if you had aimbot aim, you wouldn't be able to kill her because she'd just be unkillable. And you find a Widow on accident, but you just now capped the point. So this fight has been won. You kill this Widow. Okay, they have a Mercy. You run away. And you bang your head a little bit and then die to the Widow. This is the least important death ever. But to avoid it, just go a little bit more to the right here. You won't bash your head. And then you would be behind here and the Widow couldn't see you. Not important. The fight is already won. I mean, it's lost, but you got the objective. And so it doesn't matter. None of this is important. Look at your team. What's going on over there? Chicken with them. I would just be straight up, like, looking this way. This hallway is straight. You just walk along it without looking at it. Your Ana accidentally steals your beam targeting. That's just unfortunate. Don't go for this res. You're next to spawn. You get punched by a Doomfist and it hurts a lot. That's pretty unfortunate. I'd say the big thing there is just, like, if your Ryan's dying or going to die, just leave. Just leave. Not important to res him, and it puts you in danger. But again, not the most important death ever, because we are right next to one. You think that violence might be the answer, and it wasn't, but that's okay. It was okay to go for that. I would say your cursor placement, it wasn't great. This is a little too aggressive. You see the Widow and you want her, and I understand. But you can only get the Widow if they're by themselves. If there's a Mercy on the Widow, maybe you can kill her in time, but it's not going to be worth it to roll that die, you know? It's not in your favor at that point. And now the Widow's being damage boosted. Which doesn't do a lot for Widow, unless they're only going for body shots. And at this point, they might just go for body shots, or SMG. And that will, the damage boost will help with that. But, the Widow's not that good, and you escape just fine. I would say, okay, another option here. Still aggressive. You go in here, but you go a little bit more this way, so you don't have a LOS on the Widow while you're flying this way. Then when you land, you can shoot her. Walk in and shoot her. And you won't have had LOS on her for as long. Flying straight at a Widow when they're already scoped in on you is dangerous business. You realize that you're not going to kill them, they have too much healing, and leave. That's good. It was the right choice. You were not going to kill him at that point. Most likely. This positioning is fine. I see you want to be on that high ground a little bit, though. And I think that's right. You should be up there. And you try and get up there, and instead you don't bother glocking a Doomfist. Unless what you're trying to do is get ult charge. And maybe that is what you're trying to do, but it's not worth peeking the damage boosted Bastion to try and get ult charge. So I would say skip off your Ana or your Rein here and go up to the high ground up here, which is what you do, but you go so much more forward. Go back over here by this plot, like behind this plot, and then look to see if your Sombra needs help with the Mercy that's there. So if you're helping kill this Mercy, maybe this Mercy doesn't get out. Though your Sombra did go for the hack on the Doomfist instead. I don't like that you fell all the way back here. I know I just said don't go too far forward, but you go all the way back to this Bastion here. Bastion can't see nothing. Can't see nothing right now. Go help your Sombra and your weirdly located Ana. They both live because the Doom punches them back to safety. Wild. Alright, then we're back over here. We do the shooting at the Doomfist, and then we go all the way back here. Just keep hanging out with these people. Keep hanging out with them. You just saw what happened to them. They almost died because they were being silly. The difference between 1 and 2 people pushing the point is just not very high. It's just not very high. So if you can be on the point and be doing the same amount of value, go ahead and sit on the point. But at this point, you could be getting value up here. Rare opportunity to damage boost the Ana, and you do go for it for a little bit. I'd like to see you just keep damage boosting the Ana. Maybe heal the Rein up, but then damage boost the Ana some more. This Rein's just standing here with the shield up. At this point, probably the Bastion and not the Ana. Not super critical. Damage boost that Bastion ult. Damage boost that Bastion ult. Damage boost that Bastion ult. This Rein's not going to die from that. That was a little silly. I think you're a little bit too much a fan of the payload right now. You're doing your favorite thing, which is like stand like almost inside the payload. The area around the payload, it's not huge, but it is big enough that you do not have to be this close. In fact, your Bastion is probably pushing the payload right now as well. Not quite. Alright, he's not quite, but we could have probably saved this Bastion, but we're like healing a Rein for a while. Yeah, either damage boost the Rein, because he's definitely not going to die. He's a Reinhardt. Look at him. He's got chunky health right now. Either damage boost the Reinhardt here, or heal your Bastion. Let me look away for a little bit. I don't mind us looking to the right here at the payload, but look up to see if you see anybody on the high ground up there. Because you can't see anybody in the payload. You see the Mercy up there for a second. Where's she going? What's up there? Give us that information. We vow to save ourselves from our interesting positioning. I'm okay with that. Yes, good. Be careful standing still, or flying still, even when you know where the Widow is, because other people can hit you. You can negate that just by flying back and forth in a straight line in front of them, so it doesn't mess up your aim. That aim style looks a lot like my aim style when I was playing on controller. So my guess is this is either console or we're playing on controller. You're thinking about going back to your run, but you see this Mercy. And you're like, I got this. And then you miss 3 shots. The Mercy knows now that you're shooting at her. And is gonna start trying to leave. And your Rhine was low the last time you looked at him. He has, in fact, since died. It's no longer shoot the Mercy time. If you had hit those first 3 shots, I'd be like, alright, keep going for it. But you didn't. There was not enough shots to secure that kill at that point. This is, once again, completely unkillable at this point. Unless their Kiri is dumb and bad and never heals them, and they are dumb and bad and just like smash their face into this wall, they're not dying. But we keep shooting for a little bit longer, and I think that was not the correct play. Then we get out and res the Rhine. I would have liked to see us go all the way around this corner before we res them. Even though they don't have the Widow anymore. Bastion, Kiriel, very scary, very dangerous. But we live. The Rhine gets nanoed. Oh, you have a person right next to you. You missed them. I think you just didn't see them. With this person, it's our Sombra. You missed the fly up to here, so you end up at the same place as your Sombra, but you're not looking at him. Look at him. See where they are. Check in on them. You were just like strangers passing in the night. All right, we just totally miss our Sombra there. That is unfortunate. Definitely an awareness thing. You want to be more aware there. But they live anyway, because they were invisible. This is too ballsy. They have a Mercy on them. You have to hit like 6 headshots in a row to be able to damage through that. Or less body shots, but you know, still quite a number of shots. Not worth it. But once their Mercy's no longer in the situation, then you go for them. This one, not the play. That one, now go for it. Especially since your Sombra TP'd out already. I would have liked to see you know where your Sombra was and then healed them before they TP'd out. Or started to heal them before they TP'd out, and then maybe they could have killed the Mercy. Or the Widow, sorry. But we take it in overtime. We mess up our targeting there. I think again, sensitivity issue. You weren't able to click on the person that you wanted to, because your sensitivity wouldn't let you. All right, so we're pretty much even at this point in the game. We're looking at our team comp here. We've switched the Rhine. That's kind of wild because they actually started doing them things there at the end. Like they spent most of the game just kind of existing, but then they did things and they were like, no, Sig time. Sig, probably a better pick, so that's good, but they are harder for your Ana to hit. So just a thing to keep in mind. Sig's gonna get less healing from Ana. Not necessarily a lot less, but a little bit. Alright, and now we are attacking again. we could have healed that Sombra earlier, and I would have liked to see us do that. And then it could have been a little bit faster getting back to damage boosting this guy. A little bit of heals on our Sig. Don't bother healing them all the way up. Get them to like 70% and go back to damage boosting. If you were an Ana, heal them up all the way. If you're Moira, heal them up all the way. But you can do damage boosting on Mercy instead. And that'll be getting more value for your team at this point. Definitely keep an eye on him, and if his health doesn't go up, go ahead and heal him up for your Ana. But you do have an Ana as your other healer. You do have an Ana as your other healer, so they should be being helpful to the Sig healing. Same thing with the Bastion. Get him to like 80% health, and then switch to damage boost. I don't think there was anything you could have done about getting hit there. A little bit of map awareness. They're not super critical, but that was okay. It wasn't the strongest aim, but we helped secure the kill, and it was a good stagger. Should we have been up with the Sombra? Hold on. If the Sombra is invis, then no. Okay, they were not in invis at that point. They went in and they like missed, almost immediately started shooting and broke their invis. I would have liked to see you looking for the Sombra. You see her teleport in, but then you look away for a sec. You see her teleport in, and then you don't immediately look at her. These people are they're all fine. Even if they're not full HP, you know the Ana is full HP. And Ana does a lot of healing. So just spare a look at your Sombra a little bit earlier here. And I think you help them. Maybe they don't get out, but you definitely help them. Damage boost and Bastion, staying behind the payload. This is good. You don't have to be quite as close to the payload as you are. And you could go over to the left here. But get that res off, that's good. Good res. Strong play. I would have not peeked so far to your left here. You stay in the Sojourn's LOS a little bit longer than you need to. You got a Doomfist on you. Not a lot you can do about this at this point, except give your Ana LOS and hope she heals you. That's your only option there. Alright, is there anything that we can do to better position for that? What's coming for us, you know? Would have liked to see a little bit more damage boost on the Bastion. Alright, here's the play. We res this, and then we back out to where our Ana is. We know there's definitely a person on the point, because we just res them. Also, something I noticed this watch. There's a Doom on your Ana! See if you can go help that woman. She's gonna need it. But you don't look at him. This is just be looking at where your teammates are as frequently as possible. Just keep checking in on them. You haven't looked at your Ana in forever. You see the Widow, and then you peek back, and then you go back behind the payload. Good. If you had been helping your Ana, you don't get punched by this Doomfist here. You might still get punched by the Doomfist somewhere else, but you don't get punched by the Doomfist here. You try and avoid the Doomfist by going in this room, and that wasn't the play. Your Ana's behind you to the left. By going in here, you guarantee that she can't see you, and the Doomfist still can't. So, being back a little bit, right where your Ana can see you, isn't going to change whether or not the Doomfist can shoot you, but it will change whether or not Ana can see you. So it'll be better. Once you're here, I like going forward and looping around back this way. Basically trying to line of sight the Doomfist around this post. I think that's good. We end up getting killed because the Doomfist was getting damage boosted. And also just kind of shooting us. I'm gonna skip forward here. Your team does stuff. We Valk to get back from spawn. That's good. I like that use of Valk. Good awareness that it gives you that longer range. I don't think it was bad to go for this sig res here either. Let's see if maybe we could have done anything else to keep us alive here. We take damage. We could have flown down and bounced off the sig a little bit sooner. That's the only thing that could have helped you there. Oh my god, did we get back a second time? Holy shit, this fight's gone on forever. You relinquish your bloodlust to go stand on the payload. Oh, you don't get it off. Okay. See what we could have done better here. I'm okay with the relinquishing of the bloodlust. I'm okay with standing on point for a little bit and then rezzing this guy. But you don't get away with it. Let's see what maybe. I think you res while you're still standing on top of this. And then you have time where you could drop down for a second. It'll make you more difficult to hit.
They have superior numbers. Meteor strike.
And that fight finally ends. Oh my god, third fit check. Third fit check. This time we have the mythic skin with the golden gun. We have just the face mask with the eye cover and not the one that's a full face mask, as well as the red and white colors. And not gonna lie, I'm biased. This is the set that I use. So I'm very biased. The wing this time fits perfectly with this as well. So yeah, good, excellent choice, and I have no biases at all about your mythic choices. We're going with May Junk this time. Kawaii Troll in spawn at the beginning of the fight as always. And you're running a Junkrat. This is a big change in style of DPS play. Not terrible given they've been running a Bastion this whole game, but now they are no longer running a Bastion, so it's not as good. It's not terrible if you just kind of play this corner and nobody walks past this corner and gets headshot by a Widow or a Sojourn. We'll see what happens. I would say don't hold this far forward. Either hold their spawn, which, case in point, you should probably hold their spawn in this situation, because it guarantees that you have 2 team fights. If you hold here and you get staggered at all, you're not going to have a second team fight on the second point, the second part of the point, which is what won them their fights. So, that would be something to suggest, maybe, if you are a talking person or a typing person. But if you're not, just, this is a good position for you to be in right now. Your SIG's a little far forward. I would like to see you a little bit farther forward around this, looking around this corner, seeing if a SIG will peek you. We do it a little bit more. I think, oh, we made that choice at not quite the right time. We can choose to go in and help this SIG, but we needed to choose earlier. We needed to choose like now, whether or not we want to go help this SIG. What I probably would have done was couch my bets and go and play over here and see if I can maybe help him if he backs up a little bit, but not plan to get him out if he doesn't. But you decide, like, now that you want to make sure that he gets out, and by that point it's too late. You stand next to a Sojourn who ignores you. That's not your fault, but it was upsetting. Okay, that I don't love that. If they don't have hit scan, if they have like dive, that's an excellent use of movement. They have a widow. Do be careful. Their widow is blind. Okay, a lot of things happening there. I just kind of want to start over. Okay, a lot of things happened there. I just want to kind of take a second look at it. All right, our Ryan's dead. We fly out to our May. We look to heal our Anna. Our Anna doesn't want to peek us. Understandable. Get out to the Junkrat. All right. I would say, instead of doing our big old crazy move that we go help our May, what we do is this instead. We just kind of walk over here. That way we have line of sight on the May. We can line of sight the Sojourn by standing here. And it doesn't put us in line of sight of a widow. Alright, we come back from our little thing. We see the widow. Bloodlust. Understandable, they're by themselves. Oh my gosh, they are getting healed. And you're able to damage through the healing. That's what I was saying about when Mercy is on them, it's possible to damage through it, but you're going to need to hit a lot of headshots. You kill them. I would just be leaving here. This Kiriko has a Mercy on them. You're going to need to hit a lot of headshots to kill them. You realize it's not going to happen. I'm back out. That's fair. They res. You know the widow's still there. So back up around the corner a little bit more. Okay. No. You didn't have... Yeah. Okay. We got it. It worked out. I think that failed attempt means we shouldn't have gone for a second one unless we were a little more confident, but it worked out. This is so close. I like that you use getting up here to get away from the Winston. A little bit more aim practice. Not necessarily like just practicing Mercy aim, but a little bit more aim practice would make this a bit less of a stressful fight. Because if the Winston had come after you again, you would have died, definitely. So it would have been nice to get that kill a little bit faster for that reason. Your Anna heals you. Thanks, Anna. And by this point, the game is won. Alright, so doing some final thoughts. I believe this is your biggest misplay. This poor Sombra. It didn't even end up being important. It just makes me sad for Sombra. Glocking the Widow, not bad. I think most of the times you went for her were good choices. Be a little bit more aware of how far your slingshot's going to take you when you try and get up on the high ground. You missed a couple times, especially when you're going for the Widow, that threw you off. So you might want to, like, practice knowing your Guardian Angel while shooting at the same time. Beam targets, pretty good. Definitely, I would say try and do a little bit less of the healing and a little bit less damage boost on the Ryan when he's just kind of hanging out. There were times when Ryan just had his shield up as you were damage boosting him, and someone else on your team had line of sight on the enemy. It wasn't like a great line of sight for their character necessarily, so you weren't missing out on a whole lot, but it was definitely something. And the key about Mercy is just trying to get every last little bit of value out of her, because she's not the most strong. You gotta squeeze all the value out. The couple reses, little ambitious. Don't get rid of all of your ambition on the reses. Be cognizant of the aim of the enemy team and keep that in mind. Be willing to go for things more when the enemy team isn't hitting you. but probably a little bit less than what you're going for right now. Yeah, those are my big takeaways. Knowledge of your movement when you are shooting. Make sure that you do have line of sight on the shots. More awareness of your teammates. There are a couple times that people died because you weren't looking at them enough. So I totally forgot to record the rank that I thought this player was. So I'm going to say this is a gold game if it's on PC. If it's on console, I'd probably bump it up to plat. I think that the general positioning of everyone and their choices to fall back indicate probably not as low as bronze. The Widow's aim on the Mercy when she went in was not strong, and Urian charged off the map. Honestly, I didn't see a lot of good plays from anyone on either team that would indicate that it was a higher ranked game. So my guess is gold. I don't have enough knowledge of what different game ranks look like to be able to like pick a sub-class of gold. And the player also asked that I say whether or not I thought it made sense. And I'm gonna say it's difficult to tell. If you change your playstyle based on the games that you're in, you could be a plat player as well. You could get to plat, I think. But if that's the only way that you play, then I think gold is the highest. That makes sense. So yeah, if you start to climb, I would definitely say to be more careful around the enemy DPS because their ability to kill you is going to get better. But that's my guess. Hopefully it wasn't too disrespectful. I don't want to come across as like rude or anything, but that's my guess. I wish you the best, and I hope that this maybe helps. All right, that brings us to the end. Give me a like if you liked it, and a subscribe if you watched this far. And I will see you guys the next time I decide to post a video. Who knows? I don't know how much of that you guys could hear, but it was very stompy. And there is a giant bug next to me.